Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? My name is Lerato. I grew up in Bela Bela, and then I moved to Soweto, where I started staying with one of my auntie. I am a woman who is aged 34 years old now, but this story that I'm going to share with you, it happened to me. This was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I used to be someone that was a party animal. Right now, I have since given my life to Christ. I was assisted by this other Nigerian pastor who prayed for me in order for me to be delivered. And I am grateful for what it did to me. I work in a small hair salon here in Soweto. Mind you, I've just changed where I am working so as to protect myself. I do braid hair, the regular stuff that you do, and I feel so saddened whenever some of these women that do come to our salon, I listen to women as they will be talking about them wanting, or some of them being happy that they have found a rich blesser, and people who see me now think that I'm just an ordinary woman, but I have had some terrible experiences with these so-called rich blessers. They do not even know what I have seen. It was only one woman that I cautioned. I felt so sorry for him. She was only 17 years old. She was telling me that she was getting ready to go to a foreign country with her blesser. I told her that it's either she'll get trafficked or she'll be used for ritual. Thank God that young girl believed me, and she did not end up going to Zim with her very wealthy boyfriend. I even told her that this guy is too rich for you. I know you say that you're beautiful, but there are times when a guy is just too rich for you. Don't you think that in his own life there are no other beautiful women that are as wealthy as he is, those that he can date? Why has he chosen someone like you? And why all of a sudden, after a week of dating each other, he suddenly wants to take you to his country, yet you know that he's married? He does not even want to introduce you to his relatives, but yet he wants to go with you to his country. And she believed me. She was the only one whom I told this story that I'm about to share with you. Most of the women that know me, even my family, they don't even know what I have been through. If I tell you that one night I was stranded after clubbing, and I ended up at a rich man's house with a snake, sleeping with a snake, you might even think that I am joking. You might think that I'm just trying to scare you. But I swear to you that this is the truth that I am telling you, and this happened to me for real, and this is the reason as to why I ended up seeking the face of the Lord and leaving the slave queen life behind. I was born and I was raised in Bela Bela. I never knew my father. My mother said that he was a taxi driver who disappeared before I was even born. He was married and he had several women that he had also impregnated. When my mom went to his house, she saw that there were other women there who were also pregnant, who had been impregnated by my father. She then returned back to her parents. So it was just me, my mother, and my grandmother. My grandmother was very strict. She was a hard-believing, working woman who believed in God, and she was very strict. Each and every morning before we would go to school, we would pray. She also believed that the world was full of spirits, some of them that were good, some of them that were bad. She would always warn me about going out with some of my friends, walking alone at night, accepting gifts from strangers, about men who seemed to give me money out of nowhere. Everything she will say, everything that a man will give to you, he would take 10 times more from you. And that is what she used to say. As for our house, we had a small, beautiful house which was owned by my grandmother. My mother, she worked at a clinic. She was a cleaner there. We were not starving, but we did not have extra anything. From when I was young, I started to notice that other ladies in our location. They had beautiful hair. They always looked so nice. Most of these ladies, they were the ladies of the night. I started to speak with those women, to be more friendlier with them, and I always wanted to be like them, and they always had money at all the times. So there was this other girl whom I was friends with. She started to go with those women, and when she would return back the next morning at around 3 a.m., she always had money, and I would go to a place early in the morning and she would be counting the money that she would have made, and that was what I wanted. By the time that I was 15, I started sneaking out with my cousins. We would go to different clubs, taverns. We started with the taverns in our location, but I saw that it was too dry. The guys that were there, they could not do anything. They could not buy what I wanted. So then that was when we started to go to expensive clubs, and we had to borrow dresses, put a lot of lipstick, and we would go with those women. And I was underage at that time, and there were men that were chasing after me because I was an underage girl. And when we were at that club, we were being sold off to some of these men that would sleep with us simply because a guy would have bought for you a Hunter's Dry, even a pack of Smirnoff, and a guy would want to sleep with you in his car. Most of these guys, they were married. My grandmother caught me once. She beat me so hard, so much that my thighs, they burnt for days, but even the pain could not keep me away because I was now used to that nightlife and I wanted money. Simply put it, I was hooked. We then moved to Johannesburg. We moved to Jozi. When I turned 19, my mom was now working in Jozi and she wanted me to study hairdressing. And it was nice because back in Bella Bella, everyone was saying that I was too wild. My mom thought that this was going to be a change staying at our auntie's house because she was much more stricter than my grandmother. Within a very short period of time, I started to run away from home until I became friends with this other girl that I was working with. I was doing a part-time job at a boutique in Senton. So this girl told me to run away from home, and we started to rent a room in Hillbrow. My first salary just was not enough, and I wanted a man that could pay rentals for me. And I wanted a man that was going to take good care of me, but I could not find such a man. But my friend told me that she knew all the spots where we were going to get all these blessings. All that we were supposed to do was to look good for the men that will come into those VIP lounges. And if you were wearing nice, those men, they will pick you up. And I started to make a lot of friends. Thursdays, we will do what we called pre-drinks Thursdays. Fridays for clubs. Saturdays or Sunday, we will be at a party. My mother, she did not like what I was doing, but I told my mom that I was trying to make it in life. There were times when we would be stranded because as a slave queen, you can be looking all nice and everything. But one thing that I can tell you about most slave queens, no matter what they do on social media, they will be broke as AF. And there was one day when I got stranded, the day when I ended up with that blesser who made me to sleep with this snake. We had left Rosebank. It was at 4 a.m. and there was this other guy who was supposed to come and pick me up. So the guy, he just started avoiding my calls, even though he had promised me that he was going to come. And it was in December, and my friend had already been picked up by this other blesser, and I knew that I had 50 rand in my bag. And when I saw that the 50 rand that I had was gone, I really do not know if someone had stolen the money from me. And by the way, it was not enough because it was so early in the morning. You had to hire either a taxi, and 50 rand could not hire a taxi. I was just moving around outside of the club, and every girl had already been picked off by their blesser. They would just get out of the club and they would go straight to the blesser's car. As for me, I did not know what to do until this Nigerian guy, he just rolled down his window. He was about to leave. He then asked me where I was headed to, and I lied to him because I did not want to look as if I was desperate, too desperate for him. He then sensed that I did not have anywhere to go to. My phone was already off and I did not know what to do. He said, "Get in, I will drop you, but we pass by my place first. There is something that I need to pick up." I wanted to say no, but when I looked, I saw that the street was half empty and they were already closing the doors of the club, and my feet was hurting quite a lot. We drove to his house. When we arrived at his house, he stayed in a quiet suburbs. It was so beautiful, high walls, electric fences. There was even a guard at the main gate. As for his house, it was too huge, really big, with a big black gate, and the driveway, it was as if you were driving into a hotel. All along, he was very loud on the phone. He was speaking with some of his friends. So he let me inside, and when we got inside, he told me to go upstairs and to take a bath because he was busy on the phone. So I went upstairs. I asked him which bath I was supposed to use. He said the main bedroom. I got in there and there was a beautiful insert. I even got into the jacuzzi and the water was so hot and warm. It was so nice. I then heard him. He was now in the bedroom as if he was praying. I was like, this is really weird. So when I opened the door, that was when I saw that on the bed there was a big python that was there. This python was so big, it even lifted its head. It was flicking its tongue. It looked at me and I screamed and I said, "What the hell is that?" He then told me that this was his own child and he wanted me to sleep with his child. And I said, there is no way that I'm going to sleep with a snake. Anyway, have you ever seen a person sleeping with a snake before? And he said that since he had already assisted me, he drove with me to the club, he wanted me to help him and he was going to give me some money. I then said, "How much are you going to give me?" The guy then said that he wanted to give me 20K. And when he said 20K, Brother Nashi, to tell you the truth, I had never thought of getting so much money all at once, even though I had been dating all of these blessers. Most of them, they will end up scamming you, sleeping with you, and just dumping you. Most of these guys, they will say, "How about we go into my car right now and we sleep together only once, then I will give you more money when you are at my place." The guy will sleep with you. When you go back to the club, you won't see him again. So there was no guy who had ever given me money that was more than 2K. The only guy who gave me 2K was this other guy that was from Uganda. He made me to work for that 2K. He made me to stay with him for 3 days because he wanted to finish his money that he had given to me, and he never gave me rest all the time that I was at his apartment. So when this guy told me that he wanted to part ways with his 20K, he wanted to give me the 20K, which he showed to me on this other table that was in his bedroom. It was a stack of 200 notes and there was a brand new iPhone. He said that this iPhone he had bought for his sister. He wanted to send that iPhone to Nigeria, but he had thought about it. He wanted to give me this iPhone if I was going to sleep with his son. I asked him why was it that he was calling a snake his son. He told me that this snake was the spirit of his son that had died in Nigeria in a very terrible accident, and he had used the spirit of his son to do the rituals that made him to have so much money. He said, "Can you see that I live in this house all alone? Do you think that I cannot find a woman that I can marry, but I am not allowed to get married because I sacrificed my own son, and this is how I survive. I need to have a woman that I bless, a woman that I give money, and that woman has to sleep with my snake. To tell you the truth, I slept with that snake from somewhere around 4:30 a.m. early in the morning. I slept with that snake, but what surprised me was that when this man removed the towel, because I only had a bathing towel that I had wrapped around my body, he removed it. He did not touch me. He said I was a gift that he wanted to gift to his son, the snake. The moment that I laid on the bed, that snake became a young man, maybe around 19 or so. This man started to sleep with me in ways like I had never had sex like that ever in my entire life. And when it was all done, I woke up, it was 1 p.m. The guy then told me that he wanted to drop me in town. He went with me and he dropped me in town. I had my money. I got off from his car. He had already booked another car for me that was going to take me to Soweto. With the money that I had, I did not even want to go to the place where I was renting with my friend. I was scared because I knew that there were a lot of criminals that were staying at the same house where we were staying. So this is what happened. Soon after that, the first week, it was very terrible. I could not sleep because whenever I would sleep, I would see a man that was wearing Nigerian clothes that would come and force to sleep with me. Most of the times, this man, after sleeping with me, I would see that he would have changed and he would have become a snake. Soon after that, the money that the guy had given to me, all of a sudden, it was all finished. So I had to continue doing that, but I was nearly killed. Shortly after that, there was this other guy. I don't think he was a ritualist. He just picked me up. When we were traveling along the highway, the guy pulled out a knife. The way that I saved myself, I opened the door whilst he was overspeeding. And when the cops saw that there was a car that had a door that was opened, they started to chase after him. I think that the guy wanted to sleep with me because he told me that as he was driving, he wanted me to insert my finger and he wanted to record me doing that whilst he was driving. And I said, no, I cannot do that. That was when he pulled out a knife and I was so scared. He was arrested, that guy. It was so scary. After 3 months, I stopped going to clubs. I moved back to my auntie. I started going to church, but I kept on having those nightmares where I would see a Nigerian man that would come to rape me. Then after that, he would transform and he would become a snake. I started to look for help until I was told about this other Nigerian pastor who is in Pretoria. I went to him and I told him everything that had happened to me and how another Nigerian guy had forced me to sleep with his son, the snake. He told me that I was a victim of money rituals. Wherever this guy was, he was enjoying the money that had been given to him by the snake, and he could see in a vision that he was doing the same things to other women that he would pick up at different clubs. The man warned me and told me that nothing is free. The soft life that you chase after, sometimes it comes with other curses and demonic spirits that give the money to the blesser that will be blessing you. So to the other ladies out there, I just want to send a warning. When you see other women that will be slaying, does not matter on Facebook, on TikTok. I used to slay quite a lot on Instagram. I still have most of those pictures on Instagram. That makes me to feel so bad about the life that I used to live as someone that was not a Christian. It was a dangerous life, being picked by a man that has just bought you a bottle of alcohol and you feel that you need to trust him. If you are still living that life, I hope that this is going to force you to give your life to Christ, because one day is one day. It's either we are going to hear about you on the news after you would have been murdered. The majority of women that are murdered, they are murdered by the blessers that would have picked them up in different clubs. Please come to Christ. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with her in the comment section. Are you a slay queen? If you are one, you can come to my inbox and share with me your own side of the story.